Hi, this is Kevin A. Davis with Inked Pub, and today we're going to interview Harry K. Slade. So, Harvey, I'm sorry. Harvey, would you please introduce yourself?
No problem at all. Harvey Slade. I run under the name HK Slade. I mainly do mysteries, specializing in police procedurals, but I also love horror, and I'll dip my toe in science fiction every once in a while too.
I need to bounce one of my series off of you someday because of that, since you like both a little bit of horror and procedurals, because it's a paranormal procedural. So, what are you
Perfect.
working on presently?
So right now I am working on a full-on Agatha Christie style Knives Out mystery set in an artist retreat.
Oh,
I had
nice.
I had the good fortune of getting to go to the Virginia Center for the Creative Arts and spend a couple weeks out there. And the setting, we were just talking before we started here about the weather. While I was up there, there was equivalent to a blizzard, and we all got snowed in at the top of the mountain. And I happened to finish up the project. I went there to write really early, and man, my mind just was on fire with it. So that's my current big project.
Now, that's going to be a long form novel.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. And series standalone?
So So it actually uses the same characters that I've used in a couple of different mysteries, Freda Hampton and Ambrose Broyhill. So I've written several short stories with them, had them published across. I've got one coming out in Ellery Queen, focused on them, a couple in Black Cat Mystery Weekly. But this will be the first full novel length exploration of them together.
Nice, nice. Well, that sounds like fun. I'm glad you got it's fun when you work within a world that you're already pretty well dedicated into, because you get to, you know, sort of cliff note a lot of those things instead of having to rebuild those aspects.
It's fun to write in, but I love reading those too. We were talking about Brandon Sanderson, and I love how everything's kind of connected together. You feel like an insider because you read previous books.
Right,
So yeah.
right. That's one of my favorites with Sanderson is, all the world hoppers and,
Mhm. Yeah.
and as we've gotten exposed more and more, you just suddenly are like, wow, there's so much, intermingling here that I never saw. So, and I've loved some of his, secret, things that he's done. Now, you mainly write horror though,
Mainly mystery,
mainly
mainly police
mystery.
procedural. Yes.
Okay. So, is that your preferred writing genre? As far as what you enjoy writing the most, or is that something that you've just gotten solidly into?
So, you know, I like the freedom of being able to go into different genres and follow different stories. I see writers sometimes get bogged down in just, the one that's most successful, but I would get bored if I just wrote one character or one world. So I do like jumping around a little bit. Uh, I had a break. My career made me stop writing for a couple of years while I caught up to the profession. And then when I went back to it, I really did like a clinical analysis of what I enjoy, and I found I love a mystery. If I don't know what's happening, I want to follow a sleuth as they figure out the crime. I love action. Uh, uh, not necessarily sword and sorcery, battle to battle, but I really like when there's a little bit of movement in there, and then I like when there's just a touch of the supernatural. So when I like boiled it all down, it goes back to Scooby Doo. I love Scooby Doo. Everything I've done since then is just some variation of Scooby Doo.
Yeah, yeah. And I have to admit, I, you know, I can't write anything that doesn't have mystery in it.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's the hooks. That's like everything. The hook is, not knowing all the elements. So it doesn't matter what I'm writing. I find that elements of mystery have got to be in there for me to find a rather interesting piece. I just read Lucky Day by Chuck Tingle. Um, and one of the aspects I love when I'm reading him is he knows how to, even though he's writing in the horror genre,
Hmm.
he knows that a good element of horror is the mystery.
Hmm.
thriller is much more of, we already know who the problem is, whereas horror, we're learning, over here about it. But he just plays that out, and it happens in this case to be sort of a procedural because she teams up with a, um, you know, kind of black ops guy,
Yeah.
out of the government.
Hmm.
And they're on he's got the badge that gets them through anything, but they're on a mystery and they're hunting. And I just love it. So for me, I agree. I love to have a good variety, but I also love mystery a lot. Um, all right. So after you work through the project that you're working on now, do you have anything like that's been tickling at your mind? What's next, and got to get to it, or are you already well planned out, or you just hit the next one when you're done with the one you're working on?
One of the other worlds that I go back and play in, it's funny that you mentioned it. I have a paranormal investigator, and that one of the stories from that universe actually popped up in Behind the Shadows 2. And it's actually an adult Scooby-Doo version. And so I did finish the first book on that, and I started writing the second book, and it turned out to be more of a spy thriller. Uh, so I took a break on that just to make sure that's what I wanted to write. But when I get done with this mystery, I think I'm going to go back and revisit that because like you said, a spy thriller can also be a mystery.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
yeah,
It's got to have elements of it. Otherwise, I don't, if they're too straightforward, they just become that long car chase.
yes, yes.
And when they do that on a movie, I'm just sort of like, I get, you can explode as many things as you want, and I'm going to get bored. If you give me just a little hint of something's not quite right, and I'm totally in on this, it's like I want to know what the problem, what the wrongness is, real quickly. So yeah,
Well, I just went back and reread Game of Thrones recently, and if you look at that from a certain light, it's just a mystery. It's just Ned Stark trying to figure out what happened to Aaron,
yeah,
Don Aaron. So
yeah. And constantly with that one, I was extremely disappointed because first season came out, I read all the books,
yeah.
while I was waiting, because I was like, okay, let's just find out where this goes. And then I waited right through the series for the ending of the books, and never came. So I was sort of like,
Still waiting.
you're just annoying me now, because I can accept it when Patrick Rothfuss did it because he had emotional things. This was just,
Yeah.
there was too much other money on the table, and I'm like, all right. So we've chatted a lot about your work present and where you're going, even beyond that. What do you do outside of that? What else fills your life on the day to day? What takes away from your writing time?
uh, so I have reached an age where I enjoy a nap. I know that's not exciting, but I spend a lot of time. I'm a dog guy,
Okay.
so I spend a lot of time with my family and my dog, and I enjoy a good hike, a good walk in the woods, and between work and writing and taking care of the house, and man, if I could just squeeze in a nap, that's a full day.
All right, so let's talk about your writing time.
Yes.
Some people have, dedicated times, like, a certain time every day, certain amount every day. Other people have their weekends because that's when they can do it.
Mhm.
So obviously there's going to be some, writers watching this, and they're going to be looking for, how do I make that work? How do I get that into my day? What do you do?
Uh, yeah, so that is a tough question for any writer, particularly if you're working full time. So uh, I am a night person. I grew up working in bars and restaurants, and so my internal clock is set to being creative late at night. And fortunately, my wife is a teacher, and so she's a day person. So she usually conks out from her 4:30 a.m. wake up about 9 p.m. So then that leaves me 9 to my fall asleep time to be creative. So in real life, when I don't have to go to bed, I can write until 2 in the morning. But I had a really fun thing. I had talked to you a bit about VCCA. when I'm up there, you don't have any other obligations. They provide your meals, they clean your room. You just get to be creative up there. And so my watchword, my mantra when I went up there was sleep when you're tired. And so I had this really interesting experience where I got in there, I ate dinner, and I was tired. And so I went to bed at 7 o'clock at night, and I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just went and wrote until breakfast at 8. And then I slept some more, and then I woke up and wrote some more. And what happened was it was really phenomenal. So I never had to try and work tired. And in modern society, I don't think we understand how often we are working at like 60% of our energy.
Yeah.
But when I could just sleep, I was twice as productive. My normal writing when I'm working and I've got real life going on is gonna I put out about 1,000 words. 60 of are good. Uh, but when I really focus, I can do 5,000 a day, and that's when I feel like I can go to bed that I've done well. When I was at the retreat and I didn't have to worry about anything and I could sleep whenever I was tired, I was doing between 6 and 10,000 words in a 24-hour period, and they were good. They were way better than what I normally squeak out at the end of a long day. So that's my hope. I aspire to retire before too long, and when I do, that's the process I'm going to adopt.
Eat and sleep and then write
That's it right
and
there.
then eat again. Nice. Nice. I like that. I like that because it's definitely everyone has different ones and they're really not set. There are no guarantee that they're going to work for you. But the what I've learned over time is um, listening to what someone does and
Hmm.
then giving it a try.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, I have to do it this way, it's just a way of trying and try it and then see if that works for you. Because I hear so many people like, you must write this way and you
Hmm.
must do these things. And I used to, listen to those and follow some of those and repeat them. And now I realize it's sort of like someone saying, you should try this on the menu. I had
Hmm.
it once and I liked it. And then you can try it. And if you don't like it, you didn't like it. If you liked it, stick with it and keep working with it because it does it because there's too many different opinions out there. And I just hate when someone is really, really pushing for something.
Have you
Um,
listened to V. Schwab's podcast, No Right Way?
no, no,
It's phenomenal because she has everybody come in and talk about the process. And the
right,
nice thing about it is nobody is directive, prescriptive like that.
right,
Everything's just let me lay it out, whether that's your sleep schedule or your writing schedule, or even if you outline or you pants, right?
yeah,
Everybody fits somewhere different on that scale. So there really is no right way. Everybody's got their own unique way.
yeah. And we had talked about Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah.
So at the convention that I do the authors workshop that I
Hmm.
mentioned, um, he's often a guest, and it's a very small convention. It's 1,200 people at the most. We cap it. So this year he's going to be one of the last years he'll be at Jordan Con, and he'll be there. Um, and and I did pitch him for my panel because I wanted him to do a 101, one of his
Yeah.
classes in mine. But
Yeah.
my room holds like 20, 30 people.
No, not
Okay.
enough.
I'm not the big, big room, that he gets. Even though I could have got the big room if he wanted to do the 101. Um, but I remember one thing he said that was important for me was that um, he makes sure, that no matter how crazed he gets about a project, that he makes time for family
Yes. Yes.
and he dedicates time for that. So that there's certain parts of the day that he is there that no business. You're not allowed to. You can't go through business with him. He's not going to be writing. He's going to be spending with Emily and the kids, focused on that one aspect. Um, and I was like, that's good because I can get a little obsessed about anything.
Yes. Yeah.
And, with the Inked Publishing doing anthologies, publishing other, other authors and writing my books and all the marketing that goes with all those pieces, I can get just so focused, for 12, 14-hour periods of time. So I made a dedication that, and I talked with my wife about it. I was like, let's talk about the times, we have. So we made, the morning coffee, and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if I've got something burning up, when she comes down for her, I'm already working when she comes down. And when she comes down, whatever's, I don't care how big of the flames are. Okay. I stop it, leave it on my screen, and I go out. We have coffee for about an hour or so. Um, and we also do, you know, we do some exercise while we're there because I have a bicycle thing that I can sit on and this kind of stuff. And she does weights, and we'll just sit there and talk while we're doing all the stuff about all our businesses and everything we have going on. And then, she goes upstairs, she does editing, she does a bookstore, she does, crafting. So she has a whole bunch of things depending on her day, that she's doing. And then we reconnect for most days at 6 p.m.
Mhm.
Um, and I say most days because I have 2 days that I have Zoom calls that are going on, and we know we can't do that one. And then some weekends, one or the other of us might be at a convention. But otherwise, at least 5 days, 6 days a week, we meet and have the evening, and that's guaranteed. There's no we're too busy because of this, or this, or at least not on my part. And that was a piece of information he gave that was just crucial to me.
Yeah.
Um, and so I find little gems every once in a while that someone says is really important, and I listen and I realize, yes, I agree with that, and I can internalize it. But that was his from Sanderson that I got from there. I listened to a bunch of his writing stuff, obviously, but that was a life piece that I needed. So speaking of Sanderson, what are you reading presently?
I am
Not
in
not
love.
Sanderson, but
No, no,
whatever you
no,
read.
no. Um, I actually am deeply hooked and in love with Dungeon Crawler Carl. I put that thing off for years because honestly, and I'm ashamed to admit to it, but I thought the covers looked bad. And so every time somebody recommended it to me, I put it off. And then Audible wore me down, and I started listening to it. And man, I'm on the most recent book right now. Uh, it's it's just entertaining as hell. Like I get in there, I know the characters. We talk about repeat characters. Donut, Carl. I just have fun when I'm listening to it. But it's also really inspiring to me as a writer because I have been told so often that writing can't be fun. We've had enough everyman characters. We have to, there has to be, was like mystery. When I first got back into writing mystery, I was at a convention and everybody told me, from publishers to agents, they said the all that's getting sold right now is Where the Crawdad Sing. You just need to write the next Where the Crawdad Sings. That's it. And I read it, and it just nothing in there kind of spoke to me. I couldn't identify with any characters, and but man, I can identify with Carl. So I'm a huge fan. I'm really trying to use that, not necessarily to write in that style or that genre, but just as inspiration that you can write what you like, what you connect with, and that if you can get it out to people, there are other people out there who will be able to connect with it too.
And Jeff Hayes is amazing. Um,
Yes, yes,
and and Matt will tell you that literally made his career was
yes.
the Audible part of it. Um, and if you have you met Matt?
I have not. He was
Okay,
actually just on V. Schwab's podcast.
he is an in person. I mean, in person.
Yeah.
He is the most humble, easygoing guy you have ever met. At one of the conferences, we were headed, a whole bunch of us, of the
Mhm.
guests and staff, were heading over to a bar, okay, where we just, we go on the Thursday
Yeah.
night of that event. And so I'm walking with Matt, and I'm like, so what do you got going on? I know you're going to be busy, going on, for this weekend. And he's like, this and this, and he says, oh, and my um, publisher set me up with a fan meeting, here in Colorado Springs. I said, oh, that's cool. You get to sit there and talk with your fans. And he's like, but I don't get it. what do they want to listen to me for? Okay. And this is the kind of person he is he's just like, you
Yeah.
know, you know, he doesn't, see himself in that aloof kind of position. And I love that about Matt. Um, Jeff is fun too. I messaged him during my wife's anniversary. And
Yes.
I was like, is there any chance, I know you're busy. Is there any chance you could do me a little clip where Princess Donut gives my wife condolences for, being stuck with me for 20 some odd years. And he's like, and I knew it was a crapshoot. And he emails back. He's like, yeah, sure. Get with, so and so on my, on this email thread and get her a script. So I wrote up a quick script and I sent it out. And I was like, so then I'm watching as the weeks go by and I'm getting to my anniversary and I haven't got it and I haven't got it and I haven't gotten it. And I'm like, oh, well, got lost. Perfectly fine. I understand you're busy. I understand he's busy. No problem. I mean, it was a crapshoot in the first place. Um, so about a week after, so during the anniversary, I told my wife, I asked, Jeff, now like we've literally been across the aisle from each other selling books, and he's selling, doing his stuff. He's done my workshop,
Yeah, yeah.
he's the narrator for the slush. Um, and I'm like, I tried to get, Jeff to do this. Oh, she said that would have been so cute. About a week afterwards, I get the file. And the file is Princess berating Carl for not getting this out to Kevin on time. Okay. And then, and they go through that back and forth. He's like, oh no, no, I'm sorry. This, and this. And then, ends up with her doing the condolences to April for this.
Uh,
And so I became husband for the day,
yeah, yeah. How
because
dare you?
a whole bunch of her friends are Carl people. So she's like, I got this, thing. But yeah, they're just a lovely crew overall. All of them, both the sound booth theater guys, Matt,
Yes.
all of them just sweethearts. So anyway, I would normally ask you for a recommendation of what to read, but it sounds like you just gave it.
Yeah. Yeah. If anybody's not discovered that, I'm telling you right away, there's no reason not to. It's so fun, but also it's so cool to hear like the people that create this stuff are actually really nice people too.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Because so many times we run across like, you meet them in person and
yes.
they're sparkling on the outside. And then when you get them, as soon as they walk off stage, you're like,
Yep.
get away from it. When you're like, whoa, didn't have no idea, especially, music and artists and all that.
Yes.
You just
Yes.
never know. So anyway, all right. So we are running out of time, but I really appreciate you coming out here, Harvey. This has been great to be able to chat with you a little bit and
It sure
let
has.
you know we're Sanderson and Dinneman fans here. So that's great news. And I will get this up on YouTube and we'll be going from there. So thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate
Man,
it.
Kevin, so nice to meet you. Thank you.
Pleasure. Talk to you soon.